Spike Lee is so influenced by these two movies that he says, you know what, well, while I'm here, I might as well just start stealing shit. There are certain things exactly that he takes from these movies. That takes shit and put it in his coat and just tries to walk out.
Lying.
Get him! Your boy Spike got that new joint out there.
That's right.
New Spike Lee joint.
I mean, I feel like right now, even if he didn't have something, he would have scrambled something together.
Oh, he's been making videos before this even got out. He's just been making small YouTube videos. Ain't even move. Again, people sending me these videos. They're like, you see what Spike Lee did? Oh my God, isn't it moving? Isn't it powerful? It's like, it's a YouTube video that he put together from footage online already. You know, tell that to make a movie and then come to me. And he did. Yeah, Spike Lee has a new joint out there. That's slang for movie.
I know.
Yeah. All the white critics are getting their A's and 4 stars ready right now. Oh my God, powerful. He moved.
We'll see.
Yeah, that's what white critics do, man. You know, I mean, his Spike Lee made a movie. They already got that rating.
Yeah, they do.
White critics have ratings already made and reviews already made. They just fill in the blanks. I really love Spike Lee's new movie, The Five Bloods.
Yeah.
They do it for one because he's a critic's darling, and they do it because they scared of black people. Not physically, but they, it's scared of like, well, shit. I don't know what's gonna happen if I get this a bad review. I don't want them on my back.
Yeah, I don't want a think piece written about my review.
Yeah, only when they don't have to, and it's usually when they're in love with something else. Oh boy, they like, Negro, how dare you remake a classic movie?
He doesn't even like that.
You N-word.
Well, if they get on him for remaking a Korean movie, then it's not racist.
We got here The Five Bloods, and as to be expected in this very controversial time of racial injustice, a lot of people are saying he has a great message for these times. This is so right here. This is just in time for what's happening out here in these streets and in the world. What this deals with is a group, the Five Bloods, Vietnam vets who, like probably late 50s, 60s now, been a long time since they were in Vietnam.
Oh, these guys are late 60s.
Late 60s?
If not 70s.
If not 70s. Okay.
They're pushing 70.
Yeah.
I saw one review. I guess black don't crack to some people. Like, it's really great to see these 50-year-olds really getting down. I didn't think so, but I was just like, so yeah, when they were in Vietnam at 12 years old. But, this is the guys getting back together. But it's not just any kind of regular reunion for these guys. They're getting back together because when we open up the movie, we only see 4 of them. We only see 4 Bloods. Where's the 5th one? Well, it turns out the body of the 5th one is still in Vietnam. Mm-hmm. And they're like, you know what? We got to come back. And that is him right there, played by Black Panther himself. What's his name?
Chadwick Boseman.
Chadwick Boseman as Stormin' Norman. They said the greatest soldier that they ever had the pleasure of serving with. Turns out his body never made it back to America. And so to give their respects, they got to go and find his remains and try to bring him back. Oh, and it helps that it's buried on a lot of goddamn gold, too. Because they would have said, man, that nigga, man.
Well, for what, 50 years they did.
Yeah, but until they heard, like, it's good to go back to get that gold, then they're like, oh, yeah, we got to pay our respects.
Oh, yeah,
sweetens the deal.
Yeah. It's a good thing that respect pays real well, too. Y'all came here just to get this money. Y'all, man. But they go back for the gold, for the body. And what was once a joyful reunion for something that was very painful, you're thinking, these guys, do they get back together? And do they actually help each other through these hard times that they suffered because of this war? Or do other things tear them apart? Are they as good of friends as they thought they were? After all, the motto is the 5 Bloods. We don't die, we multiply like Bebe's kids.
Yeah, I was like, isn't that Bebe's kids motto?
He stole that shit from Baby Kids.
Yeah.
Yeah, in fact, I'm surprised Baby Kids didn't show up. You stole that from us.
Right.
Y'all know how Spike Lee joints are. Shit, you might as well smoke a joint. This shit is crazy. It goes all over the place. Spike Lee is just not somebody I can get with on all levels. Where do we fall on this one? Let's go ahead and take a look at the trailer, which I thought was actually a pretty good trailer. Let's take a look at the trailer for The Five Bloods, and we'll be back with our review.
In my line of work, I have to be very careful. It means knowing exactly who I am in business with.
I'm going to tell you, man, just like any Spike Lee movie out there, this is probably going to divide people, and I see all sides on it, man. As far as my personal review, I'll give you that, or my personal opinion, I'll give you that in a little bit. But I can definitely see why this divides people also. It's a weird mix of a film. From my standpoint, you know, I see two things immediately when watching this. This movie is like if you took Apocalypse Now and Treasure of the Sierra Madre and have Malcolm X directed. But this case being Spike Lee.
Right.
You summed that up pretty well.
Yeah.
I think our work here is done.
Yeah, there you go, people. Bullshit. Nah. Malcolm X in this case being, of course, director Spike Lee, who, when he's not making movies, he's a villain of children's movies.
The conductor's on Thomas the Tank.
Yeah,
It's like the Joker.
Yeah, he's a Batman villain or a villain on a children's TV show. I think somebody said he dresses like that because of Prince.
The purple. Yeah.
Somebody says Wario.
I can see that. He's got the purple hat.
He's got the purple hat.
I'm not gonna lie, I'm digging the suit, the shirt, and the tie, but that hat throws it off.
Yeah.
No, that hat says you should be on a train right now.
Yeah, it does.
Not a real train either, but a train at a kid's amusement park or something. Y'all want to ride the train? Come on, kids, choo choo. The guy is a true auteur, whether you like it or not. And because the way I was taught the term auteur was to say not because you're just a great filmmaker, but you do things in a film where when people see it, they immediately say, okay, that's Tarantino, that's Tim Burton.
It's your style.
Yeah.
It's your signature.
And those things that you don't like about Spike Lee or love about Spike Lee, maybe they're here just like any other Spike Lee movie, man. Narratively, it's heavy-handed. Visually, it's great, but could be repetitive. Not only in the same movie, but across several films. You know that thing that he does where people like on that
dolly.
That dolly, and they just rolling along. You know, that's his signature. He puts that in there. If you're tired of it, too bad it's in there. You gotta accept it. If you like it, great.
He's so conscious of it that even if a movie doesn't have it, he comes back in one more time. Right? You're like, oh, that's all right. Forgot to sign it. There you go.
Yeah.
Because I've seen some of his movies where I was like I got so tired of it, and then I was watching. I can't remember which one it was. It was a while ago, where I was like, "Oh, he didn't do it." I mean, I hated it, but now I was kind of looking for it, and then it went bing. There it is.
There you go.
Your ass you could have filmed this in Vietnam, and your ass could have flown back to America, and he missed that shot. He like, look, I need you to fly back over here right now. I didn't get the dolly shot, and I need it in this hotel right here. Get your ass over here. Man, it's a 3-second shot. I don't care. Get over here. Spike Lee is so influenced by these two movies, Apocalypse Now and Treasure of the Sierra Madre, that he says, you know what, well, fuck it. While I'm here, I might as well just start stealing shit. He starts shoplifting with these movies right here. That motherfucker takes things from these movies and he loots these movies, man.
I mean, for a movie about a heist. Yeah.
There are certain things exactly that he takes from these movies. That takes shit and put it in his coat and just tries to walk out.
Line.
Get him.
And the thing about it, like, he takes lines and that takes away all the tension from a scene.
Yeah.
And it's like, that is sloppy. That's sloppy storytelling.
Well, for example, the things that I noticed that he took. Now, you can call it influence, you can call it homage, you can call it thievery, but from Apocalypse Now, when the Five Bloods get ready to set on their mission, it's the same way when what's the character in Apocalypse Now?
Colonel Kurtz?
Colonel Kurtz. When he sets out to find the crazy.
Oh, I'm sorry. Colonel Kurtz was Marlon Brando.
He's Marlon Brando. I'm talking about what's his name?
I forget.
Martin Sheen?
Martin Sheen.
Yeah,
when Martin Sheen and his platoon get ready to set out to go on their mission, they're playing Fly the Valkyries, man. They play that here in Apocalypse Now when they're getting ready to go on their mission. They do the same thing in The Five Bloods when they're getting ready to set out to go back to the jungle.
It feels like if you make a Vietnam movie, you have to have that in there.
Yeah.
I actually appreciate it. Every time you don't do that, I'm like, you know what? I respect that.
Yeah.
I admire that.
I in that scene, I wondered. I was like, is this done ironically? Could be. Hard to tell.
He loves that movie. Probably he wanted to put it in there. He said, I'm doing a Vietnam movie.
Yeah.
I got to do it because that Vietnam movie did it. Also with Treasure Sierra Madre. I mean, like I said, man, they're taking the themes from these films, but they take lines. One of the most popular lines from Treasure of the Sierra Madre, stinking badges.
If you're the police, where are your badges?
I don't have to show you any stinking badges.
Better not come any closer.
Shit, that shit escalated real quick.
It did. It's like, man, don't say that word around him.
Yeah.
That's his trigger.
Shit, can you imagine that motherfucker working at McDonald's? Hey, so you forgot my fries. Your fries? Forget your fries? You don't need no stinking fries. All right.
Yeah.
But they did that line.
Yeah, I know.
In this movie.
Because even when it hit that, I was like, wait, you're not gonna, don't do it. Don't do it.
And it becomes comedic in a scene that's supposed to be so tense and scary. And it's like, oh my God.
I would say
was a
that
joke.
I'm not gonna sit back and accuse Spike Lee of complete thievery because Spike Lee has done this before. I don't think it was not done the best way because he has actually, Spike Lee is like Quentin Tarantino, man. He just loves movies. Sure. He loves a lot of movies. I don't think he has like this really vast knowledge of film like he does, but he does. And he loves all kind of films. And you can see bits and pieces of older films in his movies. And he's taken those influences and put in his films. One of the most popular scenes in Do the Right Thing is Radio Raheem, talking about love and hate.
One hand is always fighting the other hand. Looks like the right hand love is finished. The right hand's coming back.
That was, for people who know, that was from Night of the Hunter. Mm-hmm. You ever seen this movie?
No.
Night of the Hunter, Spike Lee unconsciously took almost, he reworded it, but almost the same exact scene from that film.
Oh, brother left hand hates a fighting. Wait a minute. Yes, sirree.
What's that actor? Robert Mitchum. Yeah, man. So he puts homages in his movies. Sometimes they're done better than others.
That was the thing. I didn't so much see it as stealing. I saw it as homages. Even with Radio Raheem, it's as if Radio Raheem had seen Night of the Hunter on TV at some point. And adopted that philosophy.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, in this movie, they're not. Some of these things, like I could do Flight of the Valkyries. All right, that's no big deal. I thought that was awkward putting Treasure Sierra Madre in there like he did.
Oh, it's awkward. Yeah. I mean, it's an homage, but it is awkward.
Both these films, and not to keep harping on them, both these films have the theme of madness. War making people mad. Gold fever making people mad. Mm-hmm. In this case, it's a combination of PTSD and gold driving people crazy. And I thought that the theme worked well for this film, that particular theme right there. Mostly, it takes its influence from Treasure Sierra Madre, surprisingly, because, they're in Vietnam. You'd think it would be the war theme. At least I saw it more as being Treasure Sierra Madre because Spike Lee has really made somewhat of an adventure film here. Granted, a very socially conscious adventure film, one that's constantly talking about some of the things that are plaguing us at this time. So, that's one thing you got to know. If you don't like socially conscious Spike Lee, which is just Spike Lee,
also known as
then
Spike
you might not like this. Yeah, you might not like this because at some point in every Spike Lee movie, you're gonna take an African American studies class.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, subtlety is not his forte.
No,
but that sometimes works for him. So
it's never been.
Yeah,
before we meet these characters, man, before we set out on this adventure with these characters, the movie already starts out with footage of Muhammad Ali, Malcolm X, Vietnam, really rough images of Vietnam, all set to Marvin Gaye's Inner City Blues. Now, to some, that might seem a little heavy-handed, but I think my personal opinion is that it's very timely right now. It sets up something very important that a lot of people don't, all these Vietnam movies that have come out, they talked about the horrors of that war. This politician's war that senselessly sent people to die. But one thing they really haven't covered is because it's a fucked up war. And people came back really messed up. But what none of these movies really address is the extra layer of fucked up that soldiers of color had to deal with when they got back. You fought this war at home, and then you had to come back where you were willing to die for it. And you almost had to fight another war at home.
Yeah.
Especially when they're getting constant radio messages from the Viet Cong saying, "You don't see the contradiction here."
Yeah, having to
Like,
be
that
over
was
there-
great. That was great.
Having to be over at the time that Martin Luther King dies.
Yeah. Yep.
Which is something they touch on in the film.
Medgar
right here.
Evers, yeah.
Yeah. So for people who see this and think like, man, this is really preachy, I'm like, yeah, maybe at some other time, because that's one thing that got on my nerves. Spike Lee is like, yeah, these movies are very heavy-handed, man. He does not know subtlety, and this movie was actually made before any of this stuff was going on. So I was thinking like, man, this really speaks to our times. When the five Bloods get together, man, at least the four of them that are left, man, it is. Have y'all ever been to? I'm taking you to the house, but you've never been to a black function like a family reunion.
No.
Or a wedding or something like that. Boy, these old Negroes get together and they start, uncles and cousins, and they start talking. This movie feels like that.
It'll be us soon enough.
Oh, shit, it's us now. The moment I saw this, I thought, shit, this is us right now, man. Hell, if I'm gone for 5 days and I see Mark like, that damn, man, shoot, it's been so long, brother. Mark, get the off me. It's been 3 days. Shit, brother, you remember the time? Well, you mean 3 days ago in the studio? Yeah. Yeah, these dudes feel just like that, man.
Yeah.
It feels so natural. Like if you have black relatives and especially the old dudes, when they get together before they get drunk and start fighting,
Right.
it feels just like this. These actors, man, are incredible together.
Yeah, they have great chemistry.
This some shit. I'm telling this is Stone Cold Trip being
Boy,
back.
that's something else. I ain't never seen a black man bun. This 60-year-old man got a black man bun.
Well, people get stuck in time.
Yeah.
Whatever you were wearing or your hairstyle at what you consider your best years, that's where you freeze.
Well, shit, that man bun was in carbonite because he ain't letting that shit go at all.
We just multiply. Soon to be five. Amen.
Nice. Kill the conversation.
Yeah.
One of the things I really do like that this movie does, I think, particularly well, is that they let the actors speak over each other. There's like multiple scenes like that, and you don't often see that in a lot of movies.
Sure.
It really does harken back to films like of the 70s or 60s, where it feels very conversational the entire time, and that's what in those moments when they don't go a little, exaggerate with some of the sequences that we get into, but that's what feels real, and that's what made me care about these characters.
Yeah, they talk shit to each other all
Constantly.
the time. They immediately get back and just start talking shit. I love that. And and it is sad when you see them having to bring shit up like that, man. When they were talking about, because it's constantly a reminder of all of the tragedy that's behind their story, even from the beginning here, man.
Multiply. Soon to be five.
Damn, why you have to say something? Yeah. Now about that goal. Make you feel good to see these guys, they make you feel good about hanging out with these guys. That seems the dance number, man.
Yeah.
We're in the club and all of them doing that line dancing right there.
Isaiah Whitlock is always fun to watch.
They all got moves too, man. They all got the move. My man, I forgot the actor's name. Craig.
Clark Peters.
Clark Peters, yeah. I love that move he does at the end. He's the one that really gets into it. He says, shit, I'm about to pull out the funky chicken on y'all.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't even think the funky chicken was a real dance. He said, cock-a-doodle-doo, bitch. Shit, when they find a vaccine for this corona shit, man, that's you and me in the bar.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah.
Why do people look around? Who are these old ass niggas?
Sit your old ass down. Okay, sorry.
Oh, you shut up, young blood. You don't know nothing about this.
The love of these guys just makes it even more tragic, man. When things really come down, you see them having a good time. You're happy for them to be back together. You think this is going to be therapeutic for these guys, man. And the love of these guys just makes it way more tragic, man, when things really start to tear them apart. Paranoia, greed, double crosses, mostly PTSD compounded by systematic racism, man. Delroy Lindo. Boy, that dude. Delroy Lindo, he gives the most powerful performance, I think, in the movie.
Sure.
And
He's called on to do the most.
Yeah, he's called on to do the most, and he's the one that's most haunted by his past. And I want to feel sorry for him, but he scares the out of me.
Yeah.
Because he changes on a goddamn snap. He'll go from loving you, and then the next time it's like within the same scene. What happened?
That is true.
Yeah.
Man,
It's his movie.
It really is.
Yeah.
There's that point where they're having a good time, man. Everybody's drinking, laughing, and then you kind of start glancing the whole scene. You see him in the corner, and he's not smiling at all. He get them big ass Delroy Lindo eyes, and they start blinking.
Yeah, blinking.
And they start sweating.
And not focusing it on anybody.
Nope.
And shit just starts setting them off. Everybody's like laughing about something. You're like, getting away from me, man. Get this motherfucker away from me, man. And everybody's looking like, oh shit, this is crazy.
You know what? That's kind of one of the things that bothered me is that they weren't doing that. They would just leave him alone. And I just felt like, man, there's a point where you're like, hey, guys, we got to always be on top of him. Somebody has to be there rubbing his belly, keeping him calm, keeping people away from him.
Yeah.
But they just act like, you know.
Well, I give him that because it's like, because I look at him, I was like, he's about to bring all this shit down.
Yeah.
He's about to kill these right there.
Exactly.
I'm talking about the blood.
Yeah, yeah.
I know what you mean. I like if the three of us were gonna go do something and one of the two of y'all were acting crazy like that, they'd be like, yeah, I don't think this is gonna work. We can't do this. Or get your boy here.
I get it because they hadn't seen each other in a while and they're there and it's like, man, we came all the way from America to find this gold and we're here. You know, ain't no turning back. But this dude, it's sad, man, because he can't feel anything. And Delroy Lindo sells this, man. This is an Oscar. This should be an Oscar nominated performance.
He'll get nominated.
He should, man. He was amazing, man. He can't feel anything. The only love that he seems to have is for that of somebody who ain't even alive no more. You know, the Stormy Norman. Other than that, he can't feel anything anymore.
I see ghosts, y'all. What happens to all of us, man? Have you seen them too? Yeah.
Y'all, that's when y'all ain't
Yeah.
You sure?
Yeah, don't speak. Don't try to get in there.
Oh, you see them too? What do you want me to say?
Guys, help me.
Oh boy.
There's fucking Casper right there. Ghost.
Storm and Norm comes to me damn near every night. Come on. Fist off.
Scared.
Get in there, David. Get in there.
David, please do what he says. Please, David, get in there. I like the way the Vietnamese guy is like, yeah, guys, I'm just gonna leave y'all alone right now.
Oh, his reactions kill me throughout the movie. He's like, what the I get into?
He's calm about it, but he is
Constantly.
Like,
He's just like, I'm not gonna
Yeah, man.
I mean, I said I'd help him, but
I feel sorry for him the most throughout this movie. He's like, what the fuck, guys? I'm getting wrapped
He's
into.
kind of like, y'all seem to be having a personal moment. I'm just I'll tell you what, I'm just gonna jump overboard right now. I guess all around though, people feel like this is an amazing performance by Delroy Lindo. Right?
sure.
Yeah,
absolutely.
There's even like a particular moment. I'm like, okay, this is the scene where he's going to get the Oscar for.
There are understandings. I mean, all the performances in the movie are great. I think.
Yeah. Most, if not all of them, are good.
Principal cast, the main cast.
Yeah. I think. Yeah. I mean, some people on the side don't have enough time to say whether they're good or bad. They're just there. But like Clark Peters, man. Clark Peters is the heart and soul of the group. This guy's been working for a while. I'm so glad that he's actually getting a really good meaty role to get into, man.
Yeah.
There's a lot of great scenes with him. He really does have the most down-to-earth, tender, emotional scenes in the film.
Yeah.
I like him. I actually like him a lot. Delroy Lindo is my favorite actor in the movie. He's my favorite character. Loved him in the movie. Jonathan Majors, who you're going to be seeing coming up in Lovecraft Country. That guy's on the up and
Plays the main character.
Yeah,
Right.
he's on the come up, man.
I absolutely loved him in The Last Black Man in San Francisco.
I know, man. I still need to see that.
Oh, I thought you saw it.
No, haven't
Oh.
seen it yet. No,
I mean, look, it's Jimmy Fails' movie, but he pretty much steals it. From
Yeah.
him.
This guy's on the come up, man. He plays David's son. David is Delroy Lindo's character. And he's Paul's son. His name is David. He plays Paul's son. Paul is Delroy Lindo's character. And David has to kind of grapple with his father never really loving him. And I like it because it's not one of those things where he's like, Dad, you never loved me. You know, it's nothing like that. He's just like, look, I know you ain't never loved my ass, so I'm just going to do what I can just to get paid. and they don't even play it. I thought he was going to come in and be like a worse character. He's actually, again, one of the more emotional characters in the movie. I end up liking him a lot.
I read over his emails. Gotta choose better passwords. 1, 2, 3, 4.
What do you want, David?
That equals shit.
You know, I'm just going to go back to it.
You don't think that was a good password, huh? Yeah. Say something else.
You're like, you know what? No, I'm gonna pack my bags and go back.
So often you see in movies where you have to deal with them constantly bickering, fighting against each other. He's just like, I'm just gonna let it go.
Yeah,
and they occasionally have moments even before some certain scenes where I mean they're kind of getting along.
Now I'm gonna get into some of the things that I don't like in the movie, and we can all contribute to that. But I'm gonna address one complaint that a lot of people have that they might be split on. It might not, might be different things that people get from it. But I don't want to spoil anything for anybody in the movie. And people have been mentioning this, so I don't think I am. But they have flashbacks to Vietnam in the film. And the guys, when they do those flashbacks, they don't change. They look the same. And I think that's going to throw people off. Now, it didn't throw me off because I looked at it and I said, and I waited, and they did it for a specific reason. I'm not going to even say why. You just have to see it for yourself. But I said, look, I know Spike Lee ain't that stupid. And I know he don't think I'm that stupid to think these motherfuckers going to look like they were 70 years old back in Vietnam and they're 70 years old now, late 60s, whatever they are. They show you something later in the movie that goes with what I was thinking with why he did that. And that didn't bother me.
Yeah, I didn't struggle with it. I mean, initially I was like, but then by the second time they showed him, I was like, I get what's going on here.
Thank you. Yeah.
I can respect him, like Spike Lee, that I'm going to have these actors, the actors I'm working with, I'm going to have them for these flashback sequences. Like, that's admirable, because so often, like he would just recast them or something or do the CGI. But at the same time, it did take me out of it. I did felt it was weird, especially when they're talking to Chadwick Boseman. I'm not sure what you guys are thinking about why they did that. Maybe if you explain it to me, because I just don't. It just felt weird to me. And also the other thing, the action sequence that we see of them in the past, that I didn't think that was well shot.
That
felt kind of sloppy.
I agree with that.
I don't think his filming of combat is good at all.
He's not an action director.
No.
I mean that CGI helicopter and everything.
No, he is not, man.
Spray and pray.
There's
no aiming in this movie.
I don't.
Yeah, you're right.
No, not at all.
I don't want to. Man, I don't want to like.
If it's a spoiler, then I don't want you.
Well, no, I don't want to make fun of Spike Lee for this, but I'm just saying, man. These combat scenes, they look like actors playing soldiers, man.
Yeah, it really does.
They're not good, man. They're close shot. He shot on location, I believe, in Vietnam.
Did he? Because so much of it looks like it was just in a forest.
That's why. Exactly. That's why I say that. Because a lot of it looked like he was in a field.
Yeah. Not even a forest, a field.
There are shots here that are amazing. When he's not doing combat, these things look great. He captures a lot of landscapes here that look amazing, and he mixes it in with the old Vietnam footage too. But on location at the bars.
Yeah, seeing New Vietnam.
Huh?
Seeing like New Vietnam. Not to interrupt you, but
it did. No, that's what it was. Yeah. But I love that stuff. But goddamn, when they start fighting, it's like you might as well be in your backyard doing this shit. I tell you why. It's not really a spoiler. I can tell you why, because it's not.
I wouldn't think it'd be a spoiler.
It's not a spoiler. I can tell you why.
Okay.
The reason why they showed them being as old as they are in those flashbacks is to say those guys. To me, this is what I got. This is what I thought immediately before they even explained it. They never left the war.
Oh, okay.
Like in their minds, they still see themselves as those Vietnam vets. They never let it go.
Gotcha.
So they age along with their memories.
Right.
Yeah, because when you think about when you remember things you've done or have a dream about it, you don't remember it with you at that age. You remember it you now experiencing.
Interesting.
That.
Okay. All right.
And that wasn't me trying to make it fit. That just like the second time they showed them, I was like, that's what came.
No, that's a good explanation.
Like, I know you ain't gonna sit up here and pull this shit and say that these guys are real flashbacks.
Right.
Yeah, man, you explained it.
Yeah.
Amazingly,
No.
saying like, you see yourself as you are.
No, that helped. That definitely helped. Yeah.
As the movie goes on, he starts cutting between characters, man, and it's real bouncy. And I don't think that always works at the same time. And there's one scene here where they projected something, and I was just kind of like, man, just get it over with. I know where this is going.
I know, right?
Yeah,
you have a whole scene that talks to something, and then later, and it's like, I know you're trying to make this a surprise.
There's stuff in here, man.
You can tell even by how the shot is framed.
Yeah, just do it, man. But I tell you what, though, whatever happened in that scene, it was fucked up. There's some unexpected gore in this that you wouldn't expect, especially from a Spike Lee movie. They somebody up so bad, I'd almost be honored if that was me. I'm like, you know what? If you remember one thing about this movie, you're going to remember how they me up. But I tell you, man, the movie is so stylish in other areas. I mean, fortunately, the combat is not a big part of this. A big part of this is, again, the adventure aspect of it, where they're trying to find this gold. And it's funny just watching, an adventure film with something to say. And he knows how to do it with a certain kind of cool. Like I said, look, I can get it if people don't like Spike Lee's style. I understand that completely. And his style is all over this. That's to be expected. And if nobody wants to, if nobody can get with that, cool. But I think he does it with a certain kind of cool. Even some of the parts where it might seem heavy-handed. That chick that was reading all that stuff over the radio, her name's Veronica something. I forgot what it was. But she made that shit look badass. She had that cigarette in her hand the whole time. I was like, she should be a real DJ, man. She's like the DJ from the DJ from the Warriors, man.
Yeah, well, she's based on a real person.
Who was she based on?
Hanoi Hannah. They listed in the credits.
Black GI in Memphis, Tennessee.
Veronica Ingo. I think NGO is how you. I don't know how you say.
No.
Black GI, your government sent 600,000 troops to crush the rebellion. They killed them.
I thought that was stylish. I thought it looked good. I thought it was well shot. Definitely Spike Lee, and it was saying something too. Marvin Gaye soundtrack. There's a lot of Marvin Gaye songs here. We saw "Got to Give It Up," and the beginning. I told you they open up with "Inner City Blues." Make me wanna holler. I really liked the way they used it in the movie, man, because you really, that at the time those songs spoke to that generation and the events of that time. He takes those really hard images, and yet somehow the movie still manages to keep its adventurous spirit. The climax I thought was pretty cool. The combat in the movie is not that good, but it was good seeing some of the Five Bloods hold it down, kind of like a Rio Bravo Western type standoff at the end. And I thought that was kind of cool with certain things, man.
Yeah, I really, really liked this movie for the first 30 minutes or 30 or 45 minutes. Unfortunate for me that it's so undermined by sloppy storytelling, just terrible dialogue. This is written where everybody just says the exact thing on their mind or tells us what we're already watching. And that's where the lack of subtlety or even dimension comes in. I wish I liked it as much as you do because there's so many things in it to like.
Yeah.
But it just frustrates me with Spike because it's like, man, he did all the acrobatics and did all the flips and just so rarely sticks the landing. I give it a rental. It was like a political essay that said everything I wanted to say, but it was full of typos.
There's some really good acting on hand there. But I think what it comes down to is that Spike Lee is just, he's working with so many things, he doesn't know what to concentrate on. The action scenes are pretty piss poor. But I always go back to those four guys and David. And the scenes, of course, with Chadwick Boseman. Like those kept me going. But yeah, it's just frustrating because there is greatness in this film. And I think it just kind of flounders a lot of the time. So I'd probably give it like a high rental.
Yeah, I guess I'm the opposite of you guys, man. I enjoyed this a lot, but again, I told you to be divisive, man, because you got to go and see what you're looking for. And I was able to be carried through this whole movie with these actors. There's not a moment where these actors are not good to me. Unfortunately, they are a major part of the film. My biggest complaint is that the second part does not feel as coherent as the first part. I would say actually the second half more than 30 minutes, and it is 30 minutes too long. It doesn't need to be. Does not need to be 2.5 hours. So he can say what he needs to say in 2 hours. I mostly tell people do this shit in 90 minutes and get the out of my face. What you're gonna do is coming into this movie, you're gonna have to know what you like about Spike Lee. And a lot of the things that I actually like about this are things that I don't even like about Spike Lee. And this movie really resonates with a lot of people. Resonated with me very heavily, man. And like I was saying before too, man, the adventure part of this film does work. Besides the combat, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the part where they're hunting for the gold, the part where they are actually their relationships start to get strained. Those things that I liked, but I also appreciate that you're making this film that normally any other director probably would have come out and made and just tried to take it as lightly as they could because it'd be a studio film. And this is the one time I would say, usually I say, Spike Lee, stop talking down to me, man, I ain't stupid. This is the one time I'm like, yeah, man, all this shit needs to be said. Right here, yeah, I give it a low full price, man. It's a lot of people gonna watch it and they are going to be divided on this completely.
Rotten Tomatoes loves it.
What is happening? Rotten Tomatoes
90 something.
Yeah, it's like 92%. Yeah,
it's not a 70 something.
That's the audience scores. Audience scores like in the 60s or something.
Okay.
Okay.
I checked before coming here. It was in the 90s.
I checked it last
As a matter of
night.
fact, seeing that it was in the 90s, I was like, oh shit,
boy,
I'm
here
gonna
we go.
I'm gonna get crucified. I'm not looking forward to this.
You're going to be crucified. I'm like, what are these two guys going to say? I got to be careful here.
I go into it knowing that a lot of people are not going to. If you're going to hear it strictly as a narrative, if you're watching this as a story, then you're not going to get what you want, man. Spike Lee is somebody, and maybe I like it because I gave up on Spike Lee telling the story a long time ago.
Well, I was thinking like how much he's not subtle, and that's why I'm I know I'm in the minority, but I love Chirac because that is an over the top movie.
Yeah.
So what he does work for that. But when it's a story about real people, I'm always like, oh, bro, can we turn it down?
Yeah.
I guess the thing you need to know, I'll tell you this way, man. Get ready for it to be too long. Just be prepared. That may help a little bit. Be prepared for it to not actually be as well edited and as well put together as it is in the first half. And again, expect the story to kind of like go all over the place.
Meander.
Yeah, go a few places and come back to the point almost at the very end. But I will tell you this: if you're going in there and you do want to hear these messages, you do love these characters, and you're fine with just following them, and you appreciate the fucking boldness of this movie, then I think that it's worth something watching.